Hey everybody, Dave here again, or as the DLA has branded me, Citizen Dave. How you doing today? It is a great and wonderful Saturday here at wherever I am, my secret bunker, I guess. And I would like to thank everybody for watching. We have made 45,000 views on the YouTube and the other platforms we got. 45,000 views of these videos so far. That's enough for like a, I don't know, a Rolling Stones concert actually. Okay, or 500 Ellen DeGeneres shows. All right, I'd like to thank Miss Lord, Mr. McMahon. Sorry, I apologize. I misspoke your name last time on the video. Colonel Log, Miss French, Joe Yarza, Colonel Cannon, Colonel Suarez. Yeah, everything is classified as far as the information I've been asking. Not. And all the great people that work at the DLA and the DOD. My beef is not with any of the lower workers. Trust me, you guys do a great job and everything. I'm just out here to expose some stuff. Okay? Again, you have some really good people at the top, Trump appointed and everything. You got some really good people down there, but you got some people like the guy that told me that he doesn't have to follow the rules because Trump's getting impeached soon. Okay, yeah. It's nuts. All right, today we're going to take it simple. We're not going to talk about the embarrassment at the 1033 scandal, the G222s that were crushed in Afghanistan cost us a couple $100 million, selling an aircraft carrier for $1, the 6 scandals in Pennsylvania, Brad Bunn's missteps, the issues at the Sierra Army Depot, the continuing issues at the DML branch, and the ineffectual IG that you put an IG complaint in, 1 hour later Mr. Bunn steps in, evidently, from what I've been told, and kills the investigation. We're not going to talk about any of that today. We're going to talk about new stuff. Ready? Here we go. Everything I bring up here is is from what I've found out from third-party sources and the internet. So do your due diligence, look this stuff up, and come to your own conclusions about this stuff. And the first thing we're going to hit is the fact that the Army, or the military, moves on 3 things. Shoot, move, communicate. Okay? That's what they do. They shoot, move, communicate. We're not really there to build, cities or countries or anything. We're there to wreck stuff. All right, but here we go. We're going to talk about all 3 things. First of all, we're going to talk about moving. Okay, what do I have here? Here's a 5-gallon can of diesel. Now, the Army pays going price plus a little bit for the fuel. They have to get all their stuff from the DLA. It's mandated that they buy all their fuel from the DLA. Now, what the DLA does is they've been padding their wallets a little bit by demanding about $1 extra per gallon above what they're supposed to be charging for it. All right, it's called the BISHUPS fund. Last year, they made over $1.5 billion for it. Okay, and what actually happens is, missing a card. What actually happens is the Congress or the House says, okay, here's your money. We put it in the National Defense Authorization Act. It goes to DOD. DOD says, okay, this is what you get. To AT&L. AT&L goes, okay, fine, here's what you get. And they dole it out to the DLA. And the DLA goes, oh, crap, we don't have enough money to do everything. So what do? They have all these projects out here that they want funded that Congress said, no. You're not buying this. You're not doing that. This is what you're doing. So what they do is they overcharge the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They overcharge them up to $1 or more per gallon of fuel. And what happens is that goes into 1.5. Last year it was 1.5 to 1.6 billion dollars slush fund that they don't know where the money goes to, and so that's out there. And when you're talking about 1.5 billion dollars. Think about it this way. I have a friend that is in the National Guard here in Texas. His unit has 12 Humvees. Out of the 12 Humvees, 12 are broke. Now, out of those 12 Humvees, 11 of them are broke for items under $100. Okay, one's needs a new bearing. A couple needs seals, bearings, small stuff. A shifter sensor. Costs like $20, so you can buy them off eBay for $15 a piece. And the worst one is water pumps down. And you can go to O'Reilly's, because it's a civilian engine basically, and buy a water pump for under $150. Okay, So out of all those vehicles, it's less than $1,000 for all those vehicles to be up. But they have no money. They have the mechanics. Mechanics are using a push broom at their shop. And so there's for $1,000 they could bring 11 Humvees up, and these are newer Humvees. They're not old piece of crap. These are newer Humvees, so they don't have that much money. Okay, but we did the math, and they bought over 1,500 gallons of fuel last year. Okay, now that means that they paid the DLA out of their budget extra $1,500 about. Okay, this all added total. Do your own research. So, if they would get that $1,500 back, 11 of those 12 Humvees would be operational. So you have a unit that can't roll, can't do anything, because basically the DLA... Is extortion a bad word? Yeah, let's not use extortion. Blackmail's better. All right, demanded the money out of the unit, and they're not supposed to do that, but they're doing it, and nobody cares, evidently. Now think about it this way. There's 300,000 military vehicles that are being used actively by the military right now. Another 100,000 in storage or so. Across the board, that equals out to almost $3,000 per vehicle per year. Now, you ask any military mechanic out there, how many vehicles could they bring up in their motor pool if they had an extra $3,000 per vehicle? Answer is a lot. Okay. All right. And again, Bishop's fun. Go ahead, review it. Look at it. All right, next one is communicate. You got to be able to talk to get out there and call in, artillery and this and that and everything, call in medevac and everything. So we're going to cover the EPLARS radio real quick. All right, EPLARS radio came out 20-something years ago, the current configuration that's being used. Okay, a couple years, or last year or so, the Army dumped the EPLARS radio. It is a data radio that tells everybody that you need to know securely where you're at, and the information come back and forth. All right, they dumped it without a replacement. Didn't have a replacement, so they've got a mission hole right now they don't have filled. They took all these radios, put them on pallets, and smashed them. Crushed them, shredded them, and paid to do it. Okay, so you got a contractor out there who gets paid probably $80-$100 an hour crushing these radios. Okay. So, they went to the House Armed Services Committee just last month, I believe, and I saw it on C-SPAN. It was hilarious. We got a 4-star general going up to the House Armed Services Committee going, hey, we don't have the radio anymore, so we need a new radio. And they're like, what new radio do you have? We're not sure yet, but we need $500 million right now, even though the budget's already been done to get the new radio that we don't exactly know which one it is. Okay, it was hilarious. You need to watch it. And the grilling was nuts. And so they've got this older radio they got rid of, need the $500 million to replace the whole, and it's just a mess. The bigger problem is that the Air Force has adopted that radio now, the EPLARS. And due to, from what I've been told, the DLA refused to transfer the radio from the Army to the Air Force, so the Air Force had to go out and scrounge what they could to use this radio system. And again, I'll tell you, we make great and wonderful things, and Raytheon especially makes some really cool stuff. And Raytheon was told not to make any more radios. So you got the Air Force needing these radios, are being crushed by the Army, so the Raytheon goes, the Air Force goes around and scravenges these radios and builds them themselves out of parts, basically, to make the mission requirements. The whole time they're like going, well, okay, another $500 million to this year. How much are we going to ask for next year? $1 billion? Because they still don't have the radios that they need. And this was a huge snafu at DLA. Okay, because hey, they're the ones that run that program. All right, we've hit moving, communicating. Now we're going to hit shooting. Okay. Again, look this stuff up on the internet, GAO investigations, all that other stuff. Army sights, okay? Rifle sights. The DLA messed up and bought a bunch of airsoft rifle sights in the last few years? These things explode if you put them on guns and shoot. It's hilarious. They're toys. They accidentally bought them and didn't do their due diligence. The movie Dogs of War. Watch it. That's a real story. That is a real story. It's penny pinching and all this other stuff and all that. Also, what do you expect when you got a bunch of people that are buying stuff from Mark Morales? He's been indicted so many times for weapons charges, it's nuts. Also, look up a guy named Fat Leonard. We got a few military individuals going to jail right now because of Fat Leonard. Basically, from what I understand, it's DLA contracting not doing their due diligence and not running background checks on guys they're buying weapons from. If you're buying a gun, okay, you go down to Walmart, buy a gun, you got to fill out paperwork and go through background check and everything like that. But amazingly, if you're selling guns to the U.S. government, you can buy from Albania, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, and all that stuff that still has tons of stuff in storage from the Cold War. And they don't run a background check if you're selling them a 500,000 rounds and 50,000 rifles. It's amazing. The contracting officers, well, we don't run background checks on everybody. We expect them to be honest. You're buying guns from Russian agents without a background check, but oh man, it's just, and it's just nuts. Okay, well, do your own due diligence and have fun doing it because it's amazing because the rabbit hole goes deep and far. All right, well, this is just Dave tomorrow talking smack. Okay, see you later. Bye.